Hello, everybody, and welcome to Digital Illustration Style Development Masterclass. We are here. It's week 3. We had the pause week. Hopefully, you got to work on your assignment that Jeff gave you, and excited to have everyone back. Excited to have Jeff back. So we're gonna finish up this masterclass. I just want to remind everyone that we have two more coming up. We have a June one, and we have a July session as well. So definitely check those out. Jeff will be doing those continuing Saturday, 10 a.m. So those are available right now. Go to our website, tbmcs.ca, and you can sign up for those to continue on this masterclass journey with Jeff and to keep exploring what your digital illustration, digital cartooning, and what your aspirations are and what your skill sets are, improving, learning, and enjoying. That's the key. So just want to thank all our partners in this project. So we have the Canada Council for the Arts, and we have our library partners: Blue Mountains Public Library, Collingwood Public Library, and the Wasaga Beach Public Library. And in terms of what we're working with, Jeff is continuing on this journey with us here, and then we have the ProCreate software. Again, that's what he's demoing with on the iPad, and you can also get it on the iPhone. So without any further ado, let me pass it over to Jeff. Here we go, Jeff.
Okay, thanks, Tom, and thanks again, everybody, for dropping in. Hopefully, we're going to have a lot of fun today, and this will be the last in our three-part series of developing your style, developing your feature. And we've gone through the journey of thumbnailing and exploring our mind and kind of taking ourselves out of time and space and just letting our minds create something. In the first lesson, the second lesson, we were kind of honing our skills. We're developing the things that we needed to do in our. Let's see, I'm having a little trouble there. Okay, so anyway, today, we're developing a little further, and today we've got all our characters. We're all ready to go, and we're going to. Here we go. We're going to start doing something. We're going to start creating our feature. It's going to be exciting, and we don't even know if anybody's going to like it. All we know is that we've done everything we know to do and to make it good and to make we like it ourselves. Now we've got to make a few samples and make it good. Send it out to if we're planning to be a syndicated cartoonist. I don't even know if that such a thing exists anymore. I don't know where you would send it now. I guess maybe to a cartoon distribution service of some kind. It used to be called a syndicate in the day, but I don't know what you'd call it today. So what you're doing now is you're trying to develop a little series to show what you can do, what the feature can do, and you need some samples to start with. So you're still exploring, but you've kind of honed it down to the point that now, okay, I've got my characters, I've got my concept. I just need to start doing the work, get a few get a few out there, and then and see where it leads. So and it is a never-ending process. You'll find that that'll never ever change. So I hope you'll find it exciting today because So it's when you just climb one mountaintop, there's another mountain in the distance to climb. So it's pretty exciting. It can be daunting, but don't let it be. Just realize as long as you can climb a mountain, the mountain of your creativity, it's well worth it. Okay, so I'm going to just turn it over to my tablet now, and I'll just reposition my camera. We'll just set it up here so we're looking at the iPad Pro, which I have set up here. Let's see if I can get that in a better view here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, as I told you last week, we're going to be exploring a few ideas here. So I've got a couple of concepts that I've been working on, and let's see. Let's just create a new layer here. I created a feature that I wasn't too sure what to do with, but I think I'm going to create it as a comic panel, as a single panel comic called the Calendar Girls, which is not a good title. I'd probably be changing the title, but it's a working title. Calendar Girls is a pretty famous term, probably copywritten. So let's call it working title Calendar Girls. And it is a feature about some ladies who basically are the 12 months of the year. All have names. And so I'm going to do, let's create 8 of them here because, or sorry, 10 of them. Let's see, 10. Yeah. We'll create 10 of them here. And so I want it fairly simple drawings because it's a very kind of a fun, not very sophisticated strip about these gals. So let's name them. Okay, so this is January. It's really interesting to do it this way because a lot of female names are names of the month. Like I don't know if too many name December, but I don't see why it wouldn't be a name for a person in the month. So let's create these characters here. January. What could January look like? Um, I think like a letter J in her hair or something like that. And kind of a coy little smile here. So that could be January. That could be our character January for the calendar girl. So let's go to February. I don't know any ladies named February, but we could try to create somebody named February. Yeah, kind of a interesting character here. Let's just take some of these features out of here. We can just create a whole new character, February. You see where I'm going here? I'm kind of using the same, a similar setup. The eyes are maybe a little different. The mouth's a little different position, and the hair is definitely different. But March, I've never heard of a female named March. Maybe they could shorten it up and call her Marchie. This is a fun thing, is that you can create nicknames for the characters. What would a March look like? You know, April. That is a pretty. April is actually is somebody I've got some plans for later on here, so I'm going to keep April under my hat. Let's go to June because I think I have May and June, or sorry, May and April as characters coming up in something we're going to do a little later. June, kind of yeah. Let's give her kind of a. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm going to give her a certain look here. June. I think of June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver TV show. That's just because of my generation, I guess. So there we go. There's just quickly sitting down and creating some different ideas. I've got four characters created for this feature. So we can imagine we've done all the rest of them as well. Let's December. This is the one I was trying to think, what would December look like? This short form for December. She, I don't know what a December would look like, but I'd be guessing maybe she'd just be kind of a bohemian looking gal. I don't know. Maybe with a pierced ear or something like that, an ear piercing. I don't know. A tongue piercing, a nose piercing, piercings all over the face. I think she'd be pretty cool, whoever she'd be. So anyway, let's do her last. Now we're going to assume we've got all our characters created. I've just done a handful of them here for you. Or we're just going to take that window away. So let's pretend we've finally got our feature going, and we're going to look at our characters. Our layout is going to be as follows. It's going to be a single panels feature. It's going to occupy this space on the page or the website or whatever your platform is. I mean, it's so different now. There's so many ways of presenting it, and it's almost all in your hands, so whatever you want to do. So we've got our platform here. We've got calendars are like grids. You've got each day of the month is in a grid, and the months are in a grid as well. So we've kind of set it up in a grid type system to calendar girls, or whatever we want to call it. That's our working title. And in this, I'm going to add our two characters, May and April. So we've got, I've named them just like you wouldn't see on a calendar. The top one on the top right is May, who is a character in our strip, and then the bottom left is April. So it leaves these two windows on May's right, I guess, and April's left for something. I guess I'm thinking dialogue, because the fun about this idea is that they interact, or they're speaking to one another here. So I think I'm getting a bit of refraction. I'm just going to change the angle of that so we get a little bit of less of burning of the light there on the iPad. So let's take a look what I've done with May. I've given her a bit of a beehive, and she's got glasses, and she's very, yeah, I think very sophisticated looking. And we've got April, who's very, very friendly, very happy, vivacious looking. April, it just came to me to make her that way. And you'll notice how what I did here was on the background, I actually did the line drawing first for these characters, and I put white behind the black line on a separate layer. And then I used an eraser, and I actually kind of erased some of the areas that would be darker on the with the light source, and it gave it quite a nice effect. So, and I did it in both, so they both are corresponding. But what happens is that white gives way to the background color seeping in, which I thought was a really nice effect here. It really just gave it a bit of life, and it wasn't that hard to do. And then I finished by creating that as one layer. I merged it all to be one layer. So that was my thinking there. And I think that would be a fun thing to look at wherever you do it. Just a pretty simple thing like that. And so let's start with our setup line here. This is May's opening line here. And I you'll notice too, I left this top left side of the panel open so that I could put the text here. You want to make sure your text has a logical left to right. Since we, in our English language, we read left to right, you want to make sure your comic panel is technically the same. You're starting left to right. So what I've done is I've written in with my type text tool, and I've typed in the dialogue here. I like that color on you, April. Did you buy that dress yesterday? So just a little setup line. And it's not a real thunderously funny punchline, but I did do a punchline for it. And you'll notice it's going to, this open spot here, it will show up in the lower right here. And you notice too, this is great because they can look at each other. They can have a conversation. You can almost imagine it's like windows, like they're in an apartment building and they're looking out their windows, talking to each other. So there's a lot of things that you can make happen here. I just thought it was a really pleasant thing to look at, and to, and it's a nice format. You could use it week to week, day to day. If you're doing a weekly panel or a daily panel, this is a little concept that you could develop, that you could use, or you could change it to something else if you didn't like it. But at this point, this is what I'm going to try when I develop it for the next, hopefully for the next level, to a big contract. That's what we're planning for, but who knows whether that'll happen or not. Certainly, I'm still looking for that one. Anyway, then the punchline. I bought it last year, May. I finally got new lipstick and makeup to match. So I tried to keep the wording not too wordy, but to get to the point pretty quickly there. And you'll notice it's about the same amount of words. As far as aesthetics, it looks pretty good. The nice colors, maybe they're not representative of the months, but they, I think it's nice and light. It's very simple. It's not too wordy. It's not too, it's not too much going on. Very simple to look at. And I think if you were looking online or in your newspaper, it would stand out pretty quickly to you. Now, if I could have done it the other way, I could have had the faces here, which would make sense to have the faces the other way, flipped, and then have the text windows here. But what I didn't want was the text window in the, let's, for example, I didn't want the text window on the lower left, because with the text window in the lower left and the upper right, which is first? So that's why I chose this angle to have the text window in the top left, because this is the first thing being said, and because it is a comic strip, and you're trying to keep the text or the wording has to be spoken in a certain order. That's why I chose it this way. And the other thing is the characters looking at each other. They're interacting, and the lettering, of course, is which it was so much harder in the day when I used to letter my own comics, and I would spend as much time doing the lettering as I would doing the drawing of the comic. It was that labor intensive, but now I can just type it, and as long as I have spell check on there, and I double check my spell check, it looks lovely. This is a great font to use for the lettering. It's very much typical comic strip type dialogue for lettering. And there we have it. So there, if I do, let's see, I think they always used to say in the old days of syndication, if you did, let's see, 5 or 6 weeks, which would be, so if you're talking 6 days in a Sunday panel. So if you did 6 dailies in a weekly, 6 weeks would be, wow, six times 6 would be 36 dailies, and 6 weeklies, or sorry, 6 Sundays. So that would be 42 strips, 42 strips to start with, to send out. And that just gives them an idea whether or not you can write and draw consistently week after week, day after day. And they like to see you getting better. If they see a pattern where you're developing as time goes on, and that you're getting better and you've gotten cleaner, smoother, it will impact your chances to take it beyond. Just something that'll sit in your, like I've got so many that sit in my strong boxes here at home. Not strong boxes, basically storage boxes. And I've got a few different ones that I've missed on. Anyway, so there we go. There's the Calendar Girls working title, not the real final title, for your enjoyment, I hope. Now, the comic strip. This is a fun thing. Comic panel. A comic panel is a one panel thing which can occupy one panel on your, but it doesn't have to be just a single panel with a caption. As we showed you, you can put some dialogue in there and make it like a mini strip, basically, that occupies the space of a comic panel. This time we're going to do a genuine strip here, whether it's genuine or ingenuine. It's this was another one of the ideas we spoke about back in the previous weeks, and that was the traffic signs. So this will be traffic signs comic strip this time, and I don't know, it's such a bizarre idea, but it just struck me as quite fun, because it had never been done before. And let's see. Okay, so let's open this one up here. This is what we've got this week. So we've got a stop sign and a yield sign here, and so obviously people who don't drive might have a bit of trouble understanding the meaning here, but everybody who has driven on a road would understand. And anyway, so the opening line is, if traffic is heavy and no one reads us. This is the yield sign talking. So I've already getting a sense of these characters here. The stop sign is kind of a very stern yes or no, and black is black, white is white, green is green. Things are the way they are. So that's what the stop sign. That's how I feel about the character that would be the stop sign. They're pretty hard to talk out of. The yield sign is kind of a lot more or yeah, it's not quite black. Is not quite black. It can be gray. He's a little more philosophical. He sees a little deeper than this is the way it is. No other way. So I've developed this character for the yield sign here, which is to me it helps with the characterization for this strip. So I have the yield sign coming up with this very philosophical thought here. If traffic is heavy and no one reads us, well, the stop sign doesn't care. If nobody reads him, they might be carted off to jail, right? So it's he's talking to a stop sign. You think he's really going to listen? So this is fun. To me, this is fun. They're just signs, but hey, it's it's cartoons. I mean, let your imagination run wild. Nobody has to be. We don't have to be so stuck up. We don't pay attention to things here. But this is a fun relationship: the stop sign and this yield sign. So here we go, panel number 2. So he carries on the dot 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 on the text, which is again the text that we used in our Calendar Girls area. If traffic is heavy and no one reads us in this text, and I've developed this kind of a colored balloon that points to the yield sign here. Yield sign continues. Dot dot dot. Are we even here? So the dot 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 basically is a continuation of the sentence, and you notice that nobody is. Okay, what have we done here? Yeah, nobody has left their place here. It's nobody's moved. There's no action here. It doesn't have to be action. You're reading the text here, but this is kind of shows you that even them not doing anything, it shows, yeah, this is a really deep thought. Where are we going with this? And you get the sense that something's going to happen. There's going to be something happening in that last panel. So are we even here? No reaction from a stop sign, of course, because a stop sign is, you're just, this isn't something I relate to at all. So the yield sign going off in this kind of very philosophical thing here. 2 panels, and then our final panel. This will tie it all up, folks. No traffic signs sign shows up in our feature. In our strip, and the stop sign and yield sign turn to look at them. And the no traffic sign says, wow, I learned so much when I hang with you guys. It kind of ties the idea up. It's again, it's not a thunderously funny punchline, but you think of these traffic signs here, the stop and the yield sign, and the yield sign kind of musing about, if nobody sees us, are we even here? And the no traffic signs saying, you shouldn't be here. When I learn so much when I hang with you guys. It strikes me as funny because no traffic signs means that there's no traffic signs, and clearly there are. And the fact that there is a no traffic signs in an area saying that there's no traffic signs is kind of a oxymoron in itself, because if no traffic signs are there, what is a no traffic sign doing there? So there you go. So there's our 2 ideas there. I just want to kind of explore this one a bit. Now, I had thought of, I put a little dot there, had thought of actually putting faces on these characters, and I might just even explore that while we're here today doing this. So I'll just move this layer up here to the top so that this will be over top of everybody, and I'll just change the color here so that we have full black. I'm just going to change the color plate here. So I've got 100% black here, as you'll see on the colors queue, and I can start to, what kind of eyes would the stop sign have? Would they be big black ones like that? Would he have, let's see, what could we do here? Could we have kind of a little mustache that show he's kind of old-fashioned, and red is red and black is black and sort of guy. He could just have a little mustache here, showing that he's old-fashioned, maybe some fuzzy eyebrows here. So there are things you can do. You can dress this up a bit and make it more fun. What kind of eyes would a yield sign have? Would this be his mouth? You could think of all the fun things you could do with for yield sign's mouth. Very happy guy, nice smile. So there you go. That's what you could do for a stop sign and a yield sign. Have fun with them. Let's try to develop a stop sign with eyes a little further. We could let's see. We could even yeah, we don't want him to look evil. We just want him to look like he's a guy who knows his stuff. So let's kind of lighten him up a bit. Let's make him a little more approachable. Maybe he could be just okay. I don't even like that. Let's take that all apart here. This is a fun part about developing your characters, is you can just explore. Don't oh, I took the opacity down. I'm way too low. You could make him kind of sad, or let's see, just take that off a bit there. Or you can make him just kind of an even temperament here, neither happy nor sad. And you could have your yield sign. Imagine if you could turn this part here, this white part in the center, to this way. Turn it that way. Or even if you just put the mouth in black ink like that, that would be possible too. Or the other thing would be, and this is a logical thing as you're doing it, let's just put that eye back there. This could be the nose, and you could have the mouth here. You wouldn't even have to worry about that being the mouth. I just thought it would be fun, but if you wanted to keep that sign all the time in a separate layer, you could just make that nose, and this could be the mouth. So there are things you can do to modify it. Again, as I say, like you want to keep it the same for your first set, but you might find you're going through it and saying, yeah, I'd really want to make this. I think this would make it better. Putting faces on the traffic signs would be better for me. The no traffic signs, I really don't know how to do that, because that's got writing on it and none of these other signs do. So I would probably put the eyes here and put the mouth down here in a different color than the wording on the sign. And we can turn the eyes toward the guys here by putting a black line, making it almost like a curly Q here. It gives a sense that it's looking over this way. And then, of course, the mouth at the bottom. I don't know if that works or not, but that's the thing. It's most of your panel, as you see, is the text, or at least the top part of it should be. The bottom part is your character. This is the way I've always liked to do comics anyway, with the text very visible, that you're reading it, and the picture tells you what's going on physically, that the everything else that the text does not tell you. I usually reserve the first at least third or quarter of the panel to the text, and sometimes half of it. It can go as large as half the panel, and just the picture telling the rest of the story. And you notice here I've kept the characters in the panels consistent throughout the strip, except for here, because we had a bit of a crowd scene here. We had this last panel, we have the stop and the yield sign and the no traffic sign kind of crowded it, so I just kind of squished them in, and the idea was that they would be turning to look at the no traffic signs sign. And that's what I had to do, is to try to fit everybody in there. But you see, it's pretty clean looking. The text is consistent throughout the strip, kind of color coded, so each guy could have his own colored balloon. The stop sign would obviously be a red balloon if we can kept going with the consistency of the feature. And of course, whatever facial things you chose, if you chose that, that would have to be consistent throughout the strip as well. So I just wanted to point that out as well. And that's your comic strip. It's so you could do something else too. There, I would even suggest your something different. It depends on the space that you want to use. So let's first of all take off the comic strip one, and we'll just create something different here. I just want to show you how you don't even need, you know what, you don't even need panels if you don't want to. You could, let's create just a black and white quickie panel here. Okay, so I'm going to increase my black again and go to my pen tool and just do a, okay, where are we here in the panel? So let's create a loose frame here. Okay, let us say we are creating a feature where okay, we're doing something wrong here. Okay. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Okay. Okay. Got a bit of a, let's take that one right out here. Create a new layer here. Take this out of here altogether. Take it right to the top here. This is a new strip, a new panel. And it's a comic strip. So we've created our space here. Let's just do a rough sketch of something happening. Okay, this is a typical scene, somebody on a park bench. Panel one. And let's just take that, undo that first. Undo tool. So let's take it here. We go to our arrow tool, take it to uniform. We can shrink this down and create this as our first panel. Then we can, panel number 2, keep the similar scene. And you can redraw it too. Let's have it character turning his head, looking over here. Let's have a bird flying over here. Dot line. And we've got our park bench. And to save us redrawing this, you could either redraw it, or you could erase all that. Erase all that now. Just undoing everything we've done here. So we'll take this to uniform, and we can duplicate this layer by switching over here, duplicate. It's going to create a new layer here. We can slide this down. And what you can do is take your eraser tool. You can erase your character's head here. I'm not too sure I like that. Let's do the inking tool here and erase that face anyway. Have our head turning this way, so we could have a new bird here. Let's have it over here now. Flying in. He's watching it come over here. So let's duplicate that. Take it down here. Oh, I see what we did. Okay. We could take our eraser tool, take that out. And we could have, oops, go to the eraser tool. This is what you're doing basically is you're kind of thinking on the spot here. You're creating this, you're writing it, thinking it, performing it, everything. You're the guy. The cartoonist is the guy that is the whole production team. You're okay. Let's say the bird has come and landed right beside the guy here. Okay, so this is really an interesting story here. And the guy's like, what's going on here? And then we're going to create this new finishing line here. And what's going to happen here? And let's take out the line. And we could just write a little dialogue here. Oh golly, my handwriting, my lettering has just gotten so bad since I've gotten turned age 60. Buddy, have you got a seed? So you see how we've started it. It's the guy sitting on the park bench. The bird flies around him, lands right beside him. He says, what's going on here? And then the bird says, buddy, have you got a seed? And we could have a reaction for the guy too. We could have him reacting like this. This doesn't happen very often. That's what you want to have in your punchline is or in your final panel. The unexpected. You've got everything is building up to this. Oh, sorry. Everything is building up to this point. It's a big part of writing, gag writing too, but it's character development too is also part of this too, and of course learning your skills of the la bande dessinée, the direction it goes. And it takes you here, and you're at the end point. Then you purify your idea, clean it up. You might want to change that punchline a bit, but the idea is there. The basic idea: this bird flies up. What's he doing? Why is he flying around him? Why is he landing beside him? And then finally the punchline: hey, buddy, have you got a seed? So there's your. This could be, and it's very nice even just with the open panels, the open scene, and of course with the internet, the online web, maybe not so much for publication, but you could do it in a newspaper if there was space for it, just a one column tall but not wide space. If your local newspaper or a local publication had that space open every month and they said, could you fill that with a thing that's consistent, that's funny, that my readers will not stop their subscriptions every week. Can you fill that? And that's the challenge that you could take up. Should you choose to accept it, or should it present itself? And that's the thing, is that these things don't present themselves very often. It's usually the person that chooses to accept the challenge and can do it and does it well that can take it up, and that's how the magic happens, folks. And that's pretty much all I've got for you today. And I hope I didn't see anybody send anything to me, but I hope you were able to do something and have fun with it and explore something. And by all means, get your work out there, show people what you can do. and try it out. It's really exciting. So, Tom, I don't know if I think that's pretty much all I have. I think I'll turn it back over to you. That's great.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, fantastic. I'm gonna just we have some time here still, so if anybody has some questions, I will also let's put the information here. So Jeff's email, if you if you've been working on something and you want to share it with Jeff, here's his email: jeffwilsonmentorship@gmail.com. So please do send him what you've been working on, and if there's any kind of questions, I put my email address up as well, so you can contact me. And if you have questions about technical questions, you want to get the software on there, and otherwise, if you have creative questions, any concept questions, and hopefully you can share some elements with Jeff. Don't the better feedback is great, and I think I really want to say that sharing things, getting feedback. Don't be afraid of that concept. I think it's really important because there can be a difficulty of really staying in a bubble and not getting that kind of feedback. So we're here. This is you have this amazing resource in Jeff. So I hope you can utilize that as well. And if it's not right now, maybe it's in the next ones too. So we'll continue this process where you can send some emails and have some one-on-one conversations. Jeff will get back to you as soon as possible with the emails, and then upcoming master classes. That's the same idea. So yeah, the we're getting lots of thank yous here, Jeff. So I think that's that's the main thing. um, but yeah, I think again, yeah, just here's his email address: jeffwilsonmentorship@gmail.com. So if you want to email him any questions, I can. Why don't I just put it back to you, Jeff? If you want to say your yeah, here you go.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. Well, yeah, this is something that I I don't want you to feel like I don't want to intimidate people, but I do have this one of these brains that always is coming up with the things that I think will innovate or can. I'm always looking for something better than I've already done, and I think that to me that's fun. And I have to sometimes rein it back in because I know not everybody's like that. They just want to they want to find their way. They want to learn to walk, like crawl before they walk and walk before they run. And my personality is I tend to try to run and I fall learning to run. So that's just me. So don't let that intimidate you. Do it at your own pace. Don't let anybody rush you, including me. You're you're different than everybody else, and that's your positive. That's the positive thing is that you are yourself. Learn what helps you to motivate you and to get you interested in doing this. I know that you're here for a reason. You want to learn to do this, and not everybody learns at the same pace, and not everybody wants to just do something crazy and where the pieces fall. But try something. It does again, like crawling does consist of that first hand movement or the first foot movement. So take a step forward or a hand forward and make that first move and see where it takes you. So that would be my first encouragement. But you have a lot of yeah. There's so many options available today. I wish I was a little younger today so I could have seen a little more of the future. But it is exciting even for me. So I know you've got the reins. Take it away and let's see where it takes you. And I'd be happy to help you on your way. And I'll turn it back to you, Tom.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, no, great words of advice, and I think that's you have to, and just keep creating, keep trying, and yeah, different methods of approaching things, just like learning styles and creative styles. Same idea, different methods, different comfort zones, and we want to celebrate everything that everyone wants to do. So just do stuff, just like the title of this, you're doing it, right? So I love when Jeff said that title today. But in terms of the upcoming classes, so we have a comic strip masterclass. So it's gonna be 4 weeks, just a whole intensive on creating the comic strip. So if you want to get more knowledge into that and follow along and practice your what maybe you've learned so far and apply it to doing a whole comic strip, Jeff will take you on that journey. So that starts June 5th. So that's next Saturday. We'll be starting that. And then in July, we have Jeff, July 10th. So there won't be any sessions on the 3rd. That's the Canada Day weekend. So then we'll start on the 10th. Another 4 week session. And we'll be looking at, Jeff's going to take us into the world of animation. So and what it takes to illustrate for animation. So if anyone's interested in how do you do a few poses, how do you do a few keyframes, and creating working towards that. So if you're illustrating, maybe you want to create a little bit of animation in that world too. So that's going to be another a whole kind of new masterclass we'll be doing. So really excited for that too. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. So thanks again for joining us. In terms of all our project partners, again, Canada Council for the Arts, all our library partners, Blue Mountains Public Library, Collingwood Public Library, Wasaga Beach Public Library. Make sure to check out the digital arts computers. So they're loaded with software and also the iPads. We have iPads that were just delivered to Collingwood Public Library that have ProCreate and with Apple Pencils, and then there's also the iPad Pro available at the Blue Mountains Public Library, and so definitely check it out. And it's a low cost app. We're not saying that's the only one. Whatever you're using, there's tons of drawing things. So it's just one that we've been demoing with, and I think Jeff likes it, and I've dabbled in it too to follow along with Jeff's workshops, and I love it too. So I'm a student of Jeff's, and I think that's the fun part. We're all learning from one another, different things, and it's all a big blend of creative application, creative exploration. So create and keep doing it. So yeah, on that note, I'll sign off here, and let's see you back next Saturday, and we'll get going on the cartoon, the comic strip masterclass. So I'll see you guys. Jeff and I will see you then. Take care. Have a great rest of the day.